Everyone, I guess so. Today we're going to talk to Josh, and he is going to be, a guest at this platform, and we want to basically make sure that we're getting everyone's opinion and really, getting into discovery. So, I guess Josh, I heard we haven't formally met, but I wanted to hear some of your opinion on really what you think about white privilege, if it exists, if it does, to what degree, if it doesn't, how come?
Well, I think that it exists in a couple different contexts. When I grew up in a family that I wouldn't necessarily consider privileged, just monetarily. So, I mean, there's the kind of, I think that white privilege does exist in the sense of, I mean, situationally, I'm 6'5", 250 pounds. I walk into a gas station and the clerk probably will not get nervous, me just walking up to somebody. However, if an African American man who's of my stature walks in to the same gas station, there might be some different reactions or discomfort, maybe a little awkwardness, something like that. So I think that that is definitely something that's very real. Monetarily, growing up, I never really experienced it. And I think that families like mine have had to struggle. And, I was lucky enough to have very loving parents who tried to teach me good practices of being polite and like doing your best in life, working hard and stuff like that. So I do feel very lucky for things like that. But coming up, all of the success that I've attained has dominantly been from my own hard work. My parents helped as much as they possibly could, but I did grow up in a community that, the high school I grew up in was very upper middle class. So I did see a lot of people who were privileged that were my peers, and it was a little difficult to see, some kids getting brand new cars when they turned 16, things like that. And for me, my family had illness and a lot of challenges. My father was overseas for 13 years of my teenage life. So we faced a lot of challenges, but together kind of made it through. So I guess that's a little bit about me. So if it does exist, I think it definitely does in certain situations, but I also think that certain privileges don't necessarily fall on a single race.
Yeah, no, and I think what you're saying brings up a really good point, right? Which is, I think a lot of times when people hear the word privilege, they instantly go to money, and it doesn't mean money at all, right? That there's a difference between privilege and how you're treated in the world, and privilege about what you grew up with. And I think that's such a big misconception. That I think when some people are saying the word white privilege, if they're minorities, they think, oh, all white people must be rich. Or if you're white, you go, wait a minute, I grew up and I struggled too. And it's really not about money, right? It's I think for a lot of people who might think about this in a bigger context, it's a lot more about the idea of how you're treated. And I think your gas station example was a perfect one, because it's exactly in line with what a person might have to deal with. Even if the interaction with the gas station clerk goes the exact same way, it's just the thought that that person has to have versus maybe a white person wouldn't have to have. And I think that might be more of the true definition of the privilege.
Hey everybody, I'm Adam Khalil. Thank you so much for listening to this video. I definitely want you to subscribe to the channel if you want to hear more content like this. But if this content had any value to you, click the like button as well.